Recording in progress.
Folks, welcome back to SouthAfrica. This is Chris once again. G'day, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa. This is supposed to be Answer the Question, the Wise Bros with Chris and Rob. Haven't heard from Rob, though. Hope he's okay. Haven't heard from him, so I'm hoping he's okay. But welcome to everybody else. It's a pleasure to have you join me today. I have not prepared anything for this program other than what I was going to talk about with Rob, and it was more of a conversation, so I'll do my best to bring you some valuable content. I will, however, be covering the State of the Nation address, which will probably put me to sleep at the top of the next hour with Cyril Ramaphosa. For those paying attention to events in South Africa, you may have noticed that the legal case that AfriForum filed against Julius Malema, another member of his party, and the Economic Freedom Fighters is ongoing at the South Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg. We saw the other day Economic Freedom Fighters out there singing their terrible songs, venerating, glorifying, murdering other human beings. And then we've seen AZAPO out there, the Zambian People's Organization, doing the same. I did a video early this morning taking some footage from that and commenting on it, commenting on their junior publicity or deputy publicity officers' comments, and also giving some factual information about the history, electoral history of that group, which is a non-entity in South African elections, securing just over 6,000 votes in the 2021 municipal elections. That's not even an afterthought. New parties that barely exist have gotten more votes than that. So, yeah, not very impressive. But welcome everybody in the channel. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. This won't be a long stream because we'll be doing the next one at the top of the hour. So feel free to come back at the top of the hour if you want to hear my sarcastic wit and biting humor as South African President Cyril Ramaphosa gives his annual State of the Nation address. So it's been a busy morning for me, folks. I didn't sleep particularly well. I got a few hours sleep last night on a nap unintentionally. I fell asleep on the couch. Got up, slept for an hour or two after that, and then couldn't go back to sleep, and basically just got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and started working. And so I've been working since 4 o'clock this morning, and then about 5 o'clock I started listening to the trial, because AfriForum is live streaming, as was ENCA. Between the two of them, there were almost 2,000 people watching this trial. It's a bizarre trial in which they have an advocate for the EFF, for Malema, who is asking asinine questions about Ernst Roots and his qualifications to be an expert witness. He spent the better part of 30 minutes quibbling about an endnote, making false claims that that Ernst Roots' endnote was wrong. Well, the advocate was wrong because he was referencing the wrong book. And he tried to argue with him. It was beyond Orwellian. It was silly and ridiculous to watch it. And then, of course, the trolls came in there. And, you know, the dismissive trolls who, first off, they're not very bright. They assume that because I have a pink complexion that I'm Afrikaner, because I'm commenting. Why would you assume that? Because I'm on the side of justice. When Sefalo Pule was murdered, I was on the side of justice. She's a young black woman, 9 months pregnant, murdered and hung from a post. Murder for hire by her boyfriend who was married. I stood for justice there. When a cattle rancher in the Free State, who's a black cattle rancher, was shot at his butchery in a coma for months, recovered from it, and then died shortly afterwards, I was on the side of justice and the angels. The bigotry and stupidity of arrogant, ass-wipe, frickin' race hustlers in South Africa is just disgusting. We have the same problem on this side of the world. You know, making assumptions about people is just, you know, everyone's got one. It's just like your bum. Everyone's got an assumption. Everyone's got an opinion. So they assumed I'm an Afrikaner. I'm not. Not that I would have a problem with being one, but I'm not an Afrikaner. They assumed I'm South African. I'm not. The moment I mention I'm American, oh, it figures. The stupidity and bigotry. People that couldn't hold a candle to my knowledge and insight into South Africa's political situation, its economy, its culture, its languages. People probably can't speak even half as many languages as I speak, and they dismiss me because they're morons. And then someone trying to tell me about events in South Africa that they know nothing about and telling me, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, actually, I'm the one that does know what I'm talking about. You're talking out of your ass because you're just an apparatchik, just an emotional toad and go play with your Legos. So that was my story to them. But I had fun with the trolls this morning, just eviscerating them, left their freaking entrails on the table there. People got a kick out of it. 3 or 4 of them tried to gang up on me, and I was able to fight off 3 or 4 of them simultaneously. It was actually entertaining. Unlike the mayor of Boston, the Chi-Com mayor of Boston, celebrating the Lunar New Year. Ooh, Chinese culture in Boston. No, it's kind of alien to Boston. But anyway, she's the mayor of Boston apparently, and she just got attacked by trolls. They went after her, man. They just went after her. Everything coming in there. They didn't know what to do. She was so puzzled and confused. They don't love me. They're upset about the mandates. Oh my gosh, I'm so out of touch with reality. Oh, they're just coming after me. Anyway. Yeah, well, yeah, no Rob again today, I guess. I don't know where Rob is at. I don't have a blue tick mark, so let me see. I used to get blue tick marks with Rob, but I haven't got a blue tick mark since February 3rd. So it's been a week. I sent him video. I sent him the link for this. I sent him the, I don't know. I've called him. No answer. I hope Rob is okay. I hope his phone wasn't stolen. So swear him, DJ, if you got to go because you're expecting Rob. I understand, folks. I get it. You may notice that the window is different here where you see the camera. That's because I'm in Zoom, which I reduced for the screen, not my camera that's on the screen. So, yeah, I'm using the same camera, but it's not the camera software. So it's running through Zoom. Anyway, folks, yeah, so that was entertaining. I think a couple of you may have been there. I know Erica came in later. And, yeah, so anyway. No, Erica says, yeah, it was too funny. It was. And somebody said, don't feed the trolls, basically. But, actually, they were just so full of it. And you try to take them seriously. The one guy kept being a smartass, and he was on the edge of real questions. So I played along, assuming he might be genuine, knowing better, but, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And then he asked me, where did the weapons come from that were supplied in KZN? And I said, China. Oh, you're a demagogue. No, I'm factually correct, moron. That's where the weapons came from. They came from China. Now, who gave them to the ANC or to the IFP? That's not the question he asked me. He said the origin of them, and so I told him where they came from. And I put a little smile there, anyway, because I was having fun. But anyway, after all the abuse and stupidity that he spewed, I can have a little question, have a little fun, so. Oh, you missed the interaction, Beth. Yeah, it was interesting. But we also had some substantive conversations there. But, I mean, the trial is ridiculous. All right, let me just tell you. All right, I mean, everyone's entitled to a fair trial, but fair trial? I've already seen the evidence. They're lucky I'm not on the jury, but there's no juries in South Africa because the system, I don't like it. But anyway, so if I was on a jury, I already saw Julius Malema commit the crime. Live in Senegal, live from Senegal on the 20th of October, 2020, when I was live streaming, covering the events at Senegal. Right there. He stood up on the stage, singing along, dancing along. He was convicted of hate speech in 2011, and he is prohibited from participating in any events, promoting them, or appearing at them, or singing at them. And he's in clear violation of his conviction. That alone, that's case closed. South African jurisprudence leaves you shaking your head sometimes, but then American jurisprudence these days does the same thing, so it's not really to talk about. Well, swear him, I like the conversation too, because when I talk to Rob, I stay pretty calm and collected, pretty interesting. So yeah, but I see that that YouTube is playing with my numbers again. I just had 35 viewers, and now it says 28. So whatever. Who cares? Anyway, so yeah, folks, lots going on tonight. I'm wearing a rugby jersey today. This is the Utah Warriors from Major League Rugby. It's a road jersey. Pretty cool, huh? Love the pattern on it. So you got the MLR over there, Major League Rugby. It's a nice logo. They're on. I think they're on tonight. I think that's why I went with it. So I've got 3 Major League Rugby games coming up, plus URC games, plus the Six Nations, and I'll be bouncing back and forth. So let me just take a look at what I've got scheduled for the Major League Rugby. Tonight, it's Seattle versus Utah in Seattle. Tomorrow, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday games, probably because the Super Bowl is this weekend. But Wednesday, Seattle and Utah, that's late tonight. That's 10:30 my time. So, that would be about 5:30 South Africa time. If you're an early bird, you want to get up and catch that, you can listen. I'll be honest with you, I don't know many of the players on either side, so it's going to be a struggle for me. Then Toronto versus LA, that's Thursday night, and that'll be at 10 o'clock, so that'll be 5 a.m. instead of 5:30. And then Saturday night, it's New Orleans, NOLA Gold versus Rugby ATL. And so that's 3 of those I got set up. I haven't set up the URC game yet, but I'll be covering the Stormers most likely, that game, and not the Bulls game. And I will also be covering at least one of the Six Nation games, preferably the Ireland game against France. So looking forward to that. Honk, honk, Tony. Let me see if I can find one of those real quick. See, I want a, no, that's not what I want. I want a, let's go here. Google, let's go to Google. Let's see what I can get here. Okay. Let's see if I can get this work. Let's try this real quick. That's not long enough. We need a longer one. There we go. So we start our streams with that stuff now. Here it comes. Right for it. That's a truck passing though. I think the best one there is this one here. You ready for it? You ready for the air horn? Here we go. What's going on? Man, I need to start doing that on every show, man. Here we go. Those aren't long enough. I want longer ones. I want the really long ones. Long, semi truck air horn sound. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can find another one here. Oh, Peterbilt. That one. Let's see how Peterbilt sounds. Oh, here we go. This one's 7 seconds. 2 semi sounding horn. Ready for this one? Look what you started, Tony. Look what you started, man. Let me see if I can find another one here. Peterbilt. Well, what kind of site is this? How do I play them? Accept the cookies. Okay. All right. I'm not impressed by that one. Oh, Pigpen, this here's a rubber duck. You got your ears on? Yeah. We got ourselves a convoy. Tony says, awesome yesterday. Follows a 12-hour walkabout live stream was great. Yeah, no, those themes are incredible from Canada. I'm envious because I'd be there covering it if I could. Recharging that phone as I went along. Let's listen to this one. Yeah, take that, Ottawa. Oh, yeah. Reverend Kevin is getting famous. The Alberta truckers are taking the airport this morning. Okay. Breaking news out of Ontario. Renegade Nazi truckers have captured the airport in Ottawa. Now moving on to Parliament buildings once again. We've heard that the St. Lawrence Seaway will be blocked by truckers who've turned their semis into floating barges. They're blocking the St. Lawrence Seaway. Nazi truckers. That's right. They're domestic terrorists, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, can you hear them outside? It's so annoying. Listen to them. That sound, it's so annoying. They're Nazis. Oh, my God. Snata Tuma. Woo, baby. Hey, Terry one. Justin is 10-7 out of service. I got to take a little break on the side of the road here. Hey, look, it's a liberal lefty's lawn. Let me defecate on it. As if that's actually happening. It's only the lefties that pull that crap. Shirley says toot. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fringe minority, my ass. Yeah, Viva Fry. I would, but I don't want to get a strike on his content. Yeah, I'm really sensitive to people's content now. That'd be great to carry it. But yeah, Viva Fry, that guy's made it. He's going to be, I don't know if he's talented or not. I've heard him interview. His interviews are fine. I don't know if he has any bona fides or any background, but he's got 500,000 subscribers now and probably growing. Yeah, he's just this is, some people, some events make them, and I don't know if he was made before this, but I'd never heard of him before this, but now I know who he is, and he's definitely made now. Definitely made now. So yeah, he's in good shape. He's in really good shape. So that's gonna, that unfortunately doesn't happen to me. Last year at the rally in DC, I couldn't live stream, so I couldn't get anybody. I could have gained so many voters or so many subscribers if I only could have live streamed. It's not a smoker's cough. Canadian lawyer. Oh, he's a lawyer. Okay, thanks. Okay, cool. Then he's probably pretty articulate. So all my cats have vacated the room, and the Roddy is barking her head off. Sorry, Leopold. The next news title would be removing buttons from all cars so that drivers can be more inclusive and diverse. There you go. Sorry, Leopold. But we're not done. So your cats aren't going to come back. We'll be doing it again. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, just a little programming announcement here. On my BitChute channel, my Jacinda Says video has 271 views. Now, you might be going, Chris, 271. What are you, a piker? That's nothing. I have 55 subscribers on BitChute. 271 views. That means I have 5 times as many views as I have subscribers. Meanwhile, a similar sort of thing on this channel has got 97 views. Satanism taking place in South Africa. I don't know. People are always attacking Satanism, but there are very few Satanists, and they've had very little impact on anything. So I don't know why people always focus on Satanism. Just focus on the charlatans that are in power. That's what they should do. Yeah, so this was the AZAPO press release for their demonstration yesterday, which I covered. The Azanian People's Organization will today, Wednesday, the February 9th, 2022, picket outside the Equality Court at the Johannesburg High Court, singing unapologetically, Dubu, Ibuhuna, Ibuhuna, in this context refers to the system of oppression that degrades black people. So if I sing a song that says lynch black people, does that mean that's about the oppression of black people? It could just be about whatever I want it to be, or the oppression of white people? AZAPO will engage in this picket because blackness is on trial. No, it's not. It's not on trial. You're a moron. The liberation struggle is on trial. Okay, first off, here's a little clue for these race hustlers. The liberation struggle doesn't belong to black South Africans. The liberation struggle was something that all South Africans from all ethnic groups fought for. Ever heard of Buyers Now? And the list goes on and on and on. Afrikaners fought against apartheid. Helen Suzman, the Black Sash movement. Shall I go on and on? The Freedom Charter was written essentially by white South African Jews. They're the ones that wrote it. Everybody signed up to it, for the most part. So stop with your race theft and your bullshit history, AZAPO, because you're just charlatans. You're just charlatans. For AZAPO, liberation struggle songs are a heritage of black people. So it's your heritage. You revel in a song that talks about murdering other human beings. There's something wrong with people who revel in songs that are venerating murdering other human beings. Now, I'm reading this to you and telling you about it because they're going to make a comparison, and I'm just going to eviscerate, and their entrails will be laying on the table. So watch out, because they'll come spilling out of their bloated guts. So AZAPO and black people sing them as part of a therapeutic process. Really? Why are they being sung by 26-year-olds? Apartheid ended nearly 3 decades ago. Singing liberation struggle song and other similar revolutionary songs motivates black people to remain focused on the glittering prize of attaining uhuru, freedom. You have freedom. And bestowing upon our beautiful land a more humane face. Why isn't it humane? Majority rule, 3 decades. If it's not humane, you need to look to your own kin, brother. These songs give black people a sense of pride and belonging. Really? That's the song you need to be uplifted? I think that in church, songs that people sing of reverence uplift people. Just saying. Through song and dance, black people draw courage and inspiration to pursue vigorously a unitary state. A unitary state? What do you mean by that? Central control? Well, that's not your birthright. That's decided at the ballot box. A one Azania. No, South Africa is not called Azania. That's your fictional name for it. The name is South Africa. One nation. Struggle songs also play a crucial role in disseminating knowledge and educating to liberate the black mind. I don't know how you liberate the black mind when so many black South Africans are functionally illiterate because of the Bantu education of the ANC. So I really don't follow how you liberate an uneducated buffoon. If you can't think critically, if you're not literate in your own language, let alone a second or third language, how can you liberate any mind? Oh, you mean indoctrinate with racial hatred. Okay, I'm sorry. I confused liberate with indoctrinate with racial hatred. All right, so yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, I got it now. Liberation and Charlotte Song serves as a reminder that black people are not yet free in this epic of quasi-democracy. What is quasi? Well, I'll agree quasi because you don't get to vote for representatives. The system is rigged so the ANC stays in power. They reformed the metropolitans, reducing the number of towns in South Africa, so they wiped out minority rule in small towns and incorporated in big towns like Johannesburg and Pretoria and Durban, eThekwini, this massive conglomerate of all these little towns now all sucked up, no longer have councils, no longer have mayors, are all part of the big towns, so the ANC could control that. So quasi, yes, that is quasi. Yeah, not voting for people, that is quasi. But of course, their impression is that they're saying the black South Africans should rule and massacre white South Africans. That's what they mean by quasi-democracy. That's not democracy. That is genocide. These songs motivate black people to continue to fight against all forms of oppression, especially against subtle oppression in this bourgeois democracy. What is bourgeois about the democracy? There's nothing bourgeois about it. If you want to say it's a commie-influenced democracy, absolutely. Every senior member of the ruling party is a card-carrying communist. There's no bourgeois. They're not even proletariat. They're the elites. So this is just garbage, hysteria, feces thrown about by these. Now, this is why I've read it. It's interesting to note that those who back black people, those who take black people to the Equality Court for singing Dubulu Ubuhuni continue to have DearSA as their rallying call. Okay, you fucking morons. DearSA is not a rallying call. Learn to understand the lyrics. It has been explained too many times. DearSA is a song about unity, Ubuntu. You're talking about Ubuntu. So only black South Africans are allowed to have Ubuntu? Coloreds, Indians? Whites can't have Ubuntu for South Africa or for their kith and kin, their culture? Zulu can be proud. The Zulu can own 2.8 million hectares in KZN, the Zulu king. DearSA is a song about English oppression and English assault on independent republics. That's what it's about. And bringing a leader to lead a people. That's what it's about. The song has nothing to do with black oppression. For you freaking brain dead morons who got your Bantu education under the ANC, if you'd bother to study history, you would learn that during the Anglo-Boer War, the Second Anglo-Boer War, the Boers, the Trek Boers, were supported and aided by Basotho, Griquas, Tswana, and many others who fought alongside or helped them. And they were also thrown in concentration camps by the British. Not just white Afrikaners, but black Africans who were the allies of the Trek Boers. Now, how did they become allies? Well, because when the Zulu nation murdered and expanded by incorporating and stealing land, the original land thieves in KZN, the Zulu nation, chasing or wiping out tribes, chasing them away, the Ndebele said, to hell with this, we're out of here. And they took off. And then they went to the Free State and the Highveld, and they had depredations upon multiple tribes who were tired of it. And when Trek Boers showed up in the midst of the Mfecane, and after the Mfecane, many of these groups allied with Trek Boers against the Ndebele and pushed them across the Limpopo, where they went and formed Matabeleland. It's a natural alliance between these people and the Trek Boers. And then they worked together and fought together against the Anglo-Boers. DearSA is a celebration against English oppression. It has nothing to do with black African oppression, you dipshit, historically ignorant morons, products of ANC Bantu education. And those who take the black people, so do you know that, for instance, people at Afro Reform like DearSA, they listen to Book van Blerk? Or are you simply a race hustler, a racist bigot who applies that song? I listen to Houdini. The freaks come out at night, 5 minutes of funk, this ain't no junk, get your bottom off a tree stump, ladies real pretty, city to city. Well, now we get down to the nitty-gritty, from the bottom to the top, top to the bottom. Am I not allowed to listen to Houdini? Can I not be a fan? Can I not have all of their music? Of course I can. But your racist bigotry would have assumed that I wouldn't listen to Houdini. Why? Because I'm pink. Bigots, morons, dipshits. Adding insult to injury, the four-tracker monument continues to serve as a reminder of the so-called pain suffered by their thieving ancestors. Wow, talk about insensitive and bigoted so-called pain. Thieving ancestors. I guess we're talking about the Zulu again. Or the Xhosa who stole from the San. Or the Venda. Or for that matter, the Tswana. Or the Swati. All of them are thieves. As were Europeans. If this is the context for thieving, conquest is a legitimate means of political discourse. You got your asses kicked. You didn't even win the end of the apartheid struggle. AZAPO. The National Party capitulated. They gave up because it could no longer convince white South Africans that it needed a security state and that an apartheid was necessary to prevent the Russians from coming. The Russians weren't coming. Well, Joe says they're coming to the Ukraine, but that's a whole other story. Idiots. Historical morons. Exploiting the so-called escape phrases, clauses of the liberal South African Constitution, these detractors of the black struggle have acquired Orania. Detractors of the black struggle. Orania is a private property. People bought it legally and formed a corporation, a co-op. Anyone who conforms to the cultural norms can come there and be part of it. Which is their exclusive white enclave in a supposedly rainbow nation. Really? How many people live in the Zulu capital of Ulundi that are whites? How many? How many are welcome there? How many white South Africans live in the mountains of the Eastern Cape? Some do. How many coloreds live there in Limpopo? Not many coloreds up in Limpopo, are there? Idiots. Just morons. No one black thus far has taken them to court and accused them of being racist. Actually untrue. Vicky Momberg, Penny Sparrow, just two of the most famous cases of people taken to court for speech. Not even for violent assaults or for calling for the murder of people. All they did was insult someone with words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but in South Africa, you're a convicted felon and you go to jail for saying something. Liars, 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 race hustlers. No black persons are bullshit. I've just named two white South Africans taken to court. But Joyce Malema has never gone to jail for his felonious conduct. Hateful of black people and inciting violence. Who's inciting violence? You're inciting violence. Dancing outside the building, blocking the entrance, disturbing the peace, invading the courtroom, disrupting the proceedings. You're the ones calling for violence. Do I need to play the video of your deputy publicity secretary saying that whites don't need to be afraid? Because what the song means is that if we fully activate this song, there'll be no more whites. We'll wipe them out of South Africa. That's not inciting violence, you dipshit morons. The claim made by Roots in the Equality Court that this song encourages farm murders has been proven to be a lie. Actually untrue. Untrue. Eyewitness testimony has pointed out repeatedly these jackasses cheering on Malema, Viva Malema, and singing these songs as they murdered white farmers and black farm workers. It's a matter of public record. Another lie here. Documented facts speak of farm murders as just crime and not a deliberate attack. No, the ANC's corrupt criminal ministers of police have hidden the facts. The ANC dismantled one of the few rural security measures that existed, 178 commando regiments, 4 of which were all black in KZN, and the only form of employment for most of the members of those regiments. The ANC disbanded it as part of a campaign to undermine rural security. Documented facts. There are no documented facts. This is a lie. This is a lie. Give an instance. They can't because they're lying. Murder is just as crime and not deliberate attack on white farmers, the land thieves. White farmers, the land thieves. The Zulu, the Xhosa, they're all land thieves. By your definition, they're land thieves. They took the land through conquest. When the Bantu people arrived in southern Africa, it wasn't a land of milk and honey, vacant of Homo sapiens. It was well populated by Khoi and San throughout Zimbabwe, Swaziland, Lesotho, South Africa, Botswana, Angola, Namibia, and even Mozambique. They're everywhere. And you can lie all you want. You can race hustle all you want. We have the rock paintings. 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 freaking years ago, proving habitation and DNA studies that show they have no link to you whatsoever. The link between the Bantu and the Khoi and the San go back nearly 200,000 years before they come back and converge again. Liars, race hustlers, dividers. Their illegal and unfair labor practices have come to haunt them. What illegal and unfair labor practices? Who doesn't pay South Africa's minimum wage, set by a majority black government? Who doesn't pay it? Tell me the employer that doesn't pay it, and we'll take them to court. Bring it on, liars. Instead of facing the demons they created, their community, you fucking morons, half the country was born after apartheid. They have no say in this. You can whine about historical legacies and enduring disparity. That's one argument. But to blame people based on their skin pigmentation is the very definition of racism. Are black people rapists because the majority of rapes that occur are by black men? No, black men by definition are not rapists. They're just numerically superior. So the odds are there's going to be a lot more black rapists than there will be white rapists. Just the way things work out. Morons. In conclusion, thank goodness, AZAPO declares for as long as the land of black people is not returned to its rightful owners. Well, you know what? I agree. Get your ass out of South Africa. Take your fat lard ass above the Zambezi back where it came from and leave the land to the descendants of the Khoi and San, the few 50,000 San who remain in Botswana, and the coloreds, and get the hell out. Leave. Return it to its rightful owners, you morons. It is a luta continuelle. Ooh, you're bringing up the Latin. I'm impressive. Language of the oppressor colonizers. Well done there. AZAPO is in the struggle for total emancipation of black people. What emancipation? You control all the levers of power. But of course, it's not about liberation. It's about enrichment and theft and pilfering, just like virtually every other African country after independence. The elites pilfer and steal. They ingratiate themselves. They destroy the countries they've inherited. Zimbabwe, the breadbasket of Africa, a functioning infrastructure. It's a total disaster now. Gone through two currencies and decades of abuse, rape, political assassination. Namibia, a land where the rich elites of SWAPO continue to profit, while most Namibians live in abject poverty. Mozambique, where 3/4 of the population lives in abject poverty 40 years after independence. Let's be kinder, 28 years after the end of the Civil War, since they did fight a conflict for 16 years. If the Amabuna want black people to stop singing, let them return our land and we shall have no reason to sing struggle songs demanding our stolen land. It's not your stolen land, you dipshit morons. Every person who had land stolen from them had an opportunity to have it rectified. There was a land process, 1995 to 1999, 75,000 plus claims. And even people who were dead had land claims back to 1910, a legitimate date to go back to. For in 1913, the first piece of racist legislation was in place, the Native Lands Act, which began allocating land based on race, which was racist and racial and wrong morally. Legally legitimate, but morally wrong. Before 1910, stuff you. Get stuff. You have no claim on land. No claim. None. Unless you own clear title to it. How you like them apples, Will? All right, so who was here at the beginning? Erica, Tony, Ken Anston, Beth Frazier. Oh, I guess I got a notification. Tell me in 30 minutes, which is actually 25. I'll be live with the State of the Nation address. Good evening, Shirley Miles. Michael Holmes. Hi, all. Was the AAWB a terrorist organization? The AW was a paramilitary organization which engaged in paramilitary operations. Terrorism? I don't believe so. I'm willing to be corrected on that, but I'm not aware of any specific terrorist actions they took intending to terrorize people. They were a paramilitary organization. So, yeah. The FF video is very good. Thank you. Who else we got here? What do you like about Boston? I like the snow. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's funny. Nice jersey, Saharica. Thank you. Janet Liddy, welcome to you. Terry One. Jacinda Arhern, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see what the New Zealand cops are doing to people? Oh, my God. The manhandling of people who are not resisting arrest. They're letting go and letting them be arrested, and they're manhandling, hitting them, stomping on them, dragging them around, putting their arms and their body in dangerous positions. Now, some people are getting a little carried away. I saw a message being passed around. The cops are raping people because some woman was naked and they covered up her face. I don't know that she was raped. I don't know that she was even disrobed because there's no video to prove it. I don't know anything about that. I think that's just hyperbole. She was probably sat there naked. I have no idea. But I mean, I can't accept that without some other information. You know, just sending a video in which a naked woman is being arrested and handcuffed. Now, the way she was handcuffed was violent and unnecessary, and it was brutal. And that is what should be addressed. That I can see. There's no need for it. Okay. What else we got here? I would love to see that. Oh, the taxi's climbing. Okay. Hey, Courtney's here. Welcome. You're driving. Okay. Well, Johan Eisel says, well said, Chris. Well, thank you, Johan. I didn't know you were here. It's good to see you, man. Donkey years. Get a little nervous about Giselle and Johan if they're doing any performances or anything happening. Yeah, you have a wonderful soul, says Courtney. Well, thank you. But, of course, I'll be called a racist and a white supremacist and KKK supporter. None of those things I am. I find all those things to be abhorrent. I treat everybody the same. We've talked about this before. Harvard University has an implicit bias test. Most people, the vast majority of people, it's not wrong, it's just the way nature is, have an implicit bias. You see something, you make a judgment. I've taken the test twice over a decade period, just to see if my views changed after living in different parts of the world and having, they've been a victim of murder and crime in Africa. Lots of things happened to me just to see if my bias changed. And both times I've taken it, I've come out with no implicit bias. So when I see a black person, I don't make decisions based on the person being black. When I see a white person, I don't make decisions based on that person being white. I don't. That's a true statement. But of course, the race hustlers will try to categorize you because of the way you look. Just like the same morons will say that someone who's black can't be a racist. Of course they can be a racist. They're saying like a Jew can't be anti-Semitic. Of course a Jew can be anti-Semitic. Arabs are Semites. A lot of Jews don't like Arabs. And a lot of Jews are self-loathing. So you can be anything. Anybody can be anything. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Lee Minar says, oh, I love it when you say dipshit. That's right, Tony. Irania is a private corporation. You may be led into slaughter by Western powers. The EU is Western powers. What do you mean Western powers? There are no Western powers outside the EU except the United Kingdom and the United States. Canada is not a power. Canada is a dead nation. The only thing alive in Canada are truckers. Yep. Rebellious Ruth is here. Welcome, Ruth. You could, any thoughts on that? My thoughts about anti-Semites? Marilyn Brokenshaw, Swearum DJ. Johan Eisel. It's good to see you, Minia. Renee says, always good, still no winter, in the 70s again today. Yeah, today is like 50 outside. By the way, folks, I had a little venture today, just to let you know, for those who tune in late. I saw there's a super chat, but I missed it. Let me get to that and do the quick ring up for that. That was from Levins for the Love the Rant, paying the rant fee. Well, thank you for the rant fee. I love that, man. The rant fee is awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you, Levin. Very kind of you. Courtney, yep, he has. That's one of the reasons I've hung around for almost 2 years. He has what? What have I done? What have I done? Yeah, so yesterday, tried to start my truck, my Toyota 4Runner, which is a 2004. I purchased in early 2004. It was a $50,000 truck, but I don't pay retail, so I got it for significantly less, closer to about $36,000, brand new off the lot through a buying service, and made the car payments on it. And then I had to pay it off so I could take it to Botswana. And I paid off the last several $1,000s by saving my money up, paid off so I could ship it to Botswana, because you can't take a car overseas if you don't have title to it. So, or you have to get the permission of the lenders, so because they own it, Anyway, so that truck is a 4.7 liter engine, 474 horsepower, and it takes a lot of amps to crank that battery. So I just got a brand new battery in January of last year from one of the warehouse clubs, and it wouldn't start yesterday. There was still juice to keep the clock on and turn the lights and kick the fuel injectors on, but not enough to crank that big engine. So I was late yesterday. It was too late. I didn't want to mess with it. It was cold. So today I went out, moved my car out into the street, and then opened the garage door, put the truck in neutral, gave it a little nudge, and that truck rolls pretty easy. Started rolling back, hopped in the cab, rolled down in the street, parked it there, moved the car up, put the jumper cables on. When I did this last year, I had a completely dead battery, so it took about 20 minutes before I had enough of a charge to make it happen, and it wouldn't draw enough off my car. Just about 3 or 4 minutes, I charged, boom, it fired up. I left it running for about a half hour while I crushed aluminum cans, about 200 aluminum cans for recycling, and then I drove to the warehouse club, and I had a hard time. Apparently, when I was overseas somewhere, somebody changed the screws on my cables, and they are not standard American equivalent. They're millimeters, so I have both sets of tools. I finally found a 10 millimeter wrench so I could tighten it up. And then I drove to the warehouse club, and I got almost all the way there. I'm like, crap, I forgot the mount. I hope that it's the same size wrench because I don't have any other wrenches in the car right now, or the truck. So I get there, I pop the hood, and I take it. I'm like, whew, it's a 10 millimeter. So I undo the mount, and I disconnect the battery, load it into a trolley, take it into the shop, and without the receipt, they look up my member number, they find it, and they swap it out. And I took it out, load up, got a brand new battery. It did take about an hour and a half of my time to do all that, though. So, but anyway, a new battery today. Thankfully, it didn't cost me any money because it was under warranty for 30 months. That's kind of nice. I kind of felt guilty because I hate taking things back to stores. I mean, if they're defective, I don't feel as guilty, but I still felt a little guilty. That's I don't know. It's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant pride or work ethic. But the lady said, "Sir, don't feel guilty at all. We've had a lot of battery returns lately." This manufacturer, so we're having a problem with them. Like, okay, well, I hope this battery works. So I got a brand new battery in my truck, and it cranks up great now. Anyway, I love driving that truck, man. When you hit the accelerator, it's like a SpaceX rocket, man. That Falcon 9 takes off. It is awesome. Saved me more than one accident in Africa. I'm telling you, man, in South Africa and Botswana, driving that thing around, I avoided accidents with that thing because of wildlife and people darting out in front of me. And, I see it. I anticipate an accident coming and speed up and go around something or get past an intersection where I see trouble. Yeah. It's also great, for avoiding the carjackings and stuff like that. Because when you hit the gas, you'll drag all the carjackers with you. Talk about turf burns. All right. What else we got here? So the show was 5 January, but we'll do it again. What show, Johan? See, I didn't even know about a show. By the way, Johan, I advertise your shows for free. I don't play Giselle's music anymore because I keep getting hit with copyright stuff, and we never did get the version that was off a bit so I could use it. But I mean, the only musician right now that give me advertisements for the show is Trevor Donjane, and I've advertised the show. If you've got a show and you want a crowd to show up, I mean, some people will come. Some of my viewers went to Trevor Donjane's program, so there you go. Shirley says, spot on. Thank you for that. I think another language can be added to truth. Well, truth is, folks, the counter-revolution. Truth is the counter-revolution, obliterating lies and obfuscation from D.C. to Ottawa to London, Pretoria, Berlin, Wellington, and Canberra. That's what you get right here on Chris Wyatt Africa. We are obliterating this nonsense, absolutely obliterating this nonsense. The truth is the counter-revolution, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I did get press credentials for the CPAC conference in Orlando, but there's no more rooms in the hotel. I tried to book in Hilton, but their servers are down. I couldn't log in. So until I can get hotel rooms, I'm not going to book a flight. So because I can cancel hotel rooms without paying. So I just got to sort this out. So anyway, if that's the case, I'll be gone later this month. Coming up pretty quickly, actually, in about 2 weeks for the CPAC. All right. I had that huge rant already. I think I'm behind here. There's no emancipation. Only the ignorant will talk against this. Their education is saltless. 4.7 liter. That's a monster, Bucky, with a monster thirst. It is. That's why, Erica, when I went to South Africa, it was particularly annoying that the South African cabal of banks would deny people using credit cards to pay for petrol. I had to carry wads of cash, but that was dangerous. So I finally reverted to getting a Bidvest card, which was based in Botswana. So I got paid in dollars. I had to convert it to Pula, so I've already lost 10 to 15%. Then I go to Bidvest, I take the Pula, convert it to Rands, and I lose another 10 to 15%. So by the time I'm paying for petrol on my card, which is a stored value card in South Africa, essentially debit card, I've lost 30%. So my petrol cost me 30% more when I was in South Africa. And I have an 18-gallon, which is what, 70 liters or something like that truck? Maybe it's more than that. So yeah, it cost me a lot to use petrol in South Africa. But hey, it was a very pleasant thing to ride. Really enjoyed it. Put a lot in there. 1.4 Renault. That's a lot smaller, yeah. If Americans use liters regarding us, of course, we always have. We've always measured the size of engines liters. It's much easier to figure out. 5.7 well, he's in Canada. He needs a 5.7. Yeah, you need a big truck up there in Canada, man. You need that. Hey, Siv, welcome. Yep. Anyway. All right, folks. 4x4. Yeah, exactly. My truck's a 4x4, but you need that in Canada. You really do. Some of these trucks are massive. My SUVs, it's tiny compared to what you see in Canada, what you see around the US. But yeah, it was big. My truck was very much in demand. It was ironic because an Indian fellow in Botswana offered me $50,000 cash for my SUV, which I still have. And that was in 2010 when I was leaving Botswana. He said, I'll give you $50,000 for it. And he was serious. But he had to go to Mauritius, I think, and was gone and short notice. And I either had to ship the truck or take the loss. So I shipped the truck and never got it. But $50,000 would have been about $15,000 more than, or $13,000 more than I paid for it. And after I'd already had it for 7 years. So now I've had it for 17 years. Anyway. Right. All right, cool. 1.2 liter. Yeah, those things barely climb hills. They're like lawnmowers. There's no substitute for cubic inch, says Nick Muller. What are we talking about? Engine size? Or are we talking about something else there? Anyway, folks, thanks for the super chat that Leovan sent and for the 56 likes. For the 56 likes. By the way, Ronaldo made a video. I missed the lady who was talking about the fuel. The fool. She's mispronounced. I'm not going to pick on her. I'm not going to pick on her. You know, that's her pronunciation. It is cute and funny, but I'm not going to pick on her. So anyway, I know that I mispronounce words in Tswana and I mispronounce words in Afrikaans. So, you know, hey, I do very well in German and pretty well in French, but not so well. And also in Swahili, I pronounce pretty well. Shocking behavior from the New Zealand police force beyond the Brokershaw. Absolutely shocking behavior. But hey, they're taking their cue from Australia and Canada. These other Anglo-Saxon countries that have betrayed liberty. Even those who do not like the truth must admit. Yeah. Trevor Bush, I'm well, thanks. Flesh and missed the rant. Yeah, you can go back and watch it, man. That's why it's there. It's on the channel. You can go back and watch it. Yeah, it's a rant against AZAPO. These guys are just clown car. They are. They're just a clown car show. I read their press release about this, and they can't hold a cogent thought. Their press release is full of outright lies, distortions, misleading things, and of course, their response would be that I must be a white supremacist. Nope. Not a white supremacist, not a black supremacist. Everyone is created equal by their creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are inalienable rights. If you're South African, in my view, you're entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You're not entitled to race bait and race hustle by fraudulently claiming that DearSA is a call to black suppression. It's not, morons. Anyway, so there you go. If you missed the rant, you can always catch up on later. You can't afford to drive that truck to pay the fuel price. Would cost a month's salary to get out of the weekend. Leovan, I know. Well, when I lived there, petrol was half the price it is now. I was at the time paying the price of petrol for unleaded, I want to say was less than 4 Pula when I started. So around 4 Rand when I was buying fuel back then. 4 Rand a liter, I think it was. Yeah, that's what it was, somewhere around there. So yeah, it was expensive, but it was affordable. Now it's what, 20 Rand a liter? Yeah, it's 5 times as much. All under the ANC, who, by the way, in the build-up to 1994 and 1992, made the fraudulent race hustling claim that the National Party is racist. They've raised the price of fuel to impoverish black people. Well, the fact that a government sets the price of fuel is criminal in my mind. We had this in America during the Second World War. They had price controls, and they tried this nonsense. It destroys economies, and it enriches the elites because they're guaranteed a certain amount of money and impoverishes people trying to make a buck. So price controls are idiotic. Let the price flow freely, and while you're at it, reduce the level of taxation of fuel in South Africa, and then people will be able to afford it. Because petrol is half the price it was at its peak in 2014. Oil traded for $187 a barrel in 2013, 2014 timeframe. It's trading for $80 a barrel less today. It's less than half. But people are paying record prices for petrol in South Africa, all because the ANC is stealing it in the form of taxes. Yep. All right. What else? Okay. Renier's here. Cool. Lazan, welcome to you. Driving a tractor. Funny, the stores that are putting locks in the necks of the most stolen wine bottles are being called racist. You can convert the engine, also running gas. That's where American cars have big engines do. Okay, cool. All right, it's time for me to end, folks, because I need to get on to, please feel free to come right back. I don't know where Rob was at. I hope he's okay. Feel free to come back and join me for my live commentary of Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address, SONA 2022. Big news, perhaps. We're going to end lockdown? Possibly. We'll see. But big news coming up. We're also going to see xenophobic response from the African National Congress as they seek to limit foreign nationals from occupation in South Africa that can't even be occupied by South Africans because so few South Africans are literate and educated enough to fill the job. So there's going to be a shortage of labor in many critical fields as a consequence of a coming xenophobic labor ban. So here you go, folks. Coming up in about 9 minutes. Come right back with me. Join me in 9 minutes. I appreciate your support, and we shall catch you here in 9 minutes if you can join us for the next one. Go to the loo, get something to eat, get some popcorn, enjoy the Cyril Show. The Squirrel live at the top of the hour here on Chris Wyatt Africa. Cheers, folks. God bless and thanks a lot. The shirt is a Utah Warriors Major League Rugby shirt. Utah is playing tonight against Seattle. I'll be covering the game live at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's 5:30 a.m. in South Africa. Lars Salas, I get your point. You'll skip the BS, but I think most people that watch my program tune in to listen to my sarcastic wit against Ramaphosa, which doesn't come in a summary. It only comes live.